Hello, my beautiful friends. I am currently in Spain, and I figured this is the perfect time for me to record a video explaining why you need to solo travel. You don't need to, I guess, it's fine. You don't have to. You can travel with somebody, but I think it is an experience that everybody should have at least once because it just helps you to build your confidence so freaking much. You will not understand until you go somewhere by yourself. So, let's start. I'm going to address the first thing that so many people have said to me is that they're scared, obviously. It makes sense to be scared, and it's not really something that you need to kind of feel like you're the only one on the planet that's scared to travel somewhere alone. I recommend that the first place that you travel alone, if you are feeling less than confident about traveling alone, is somewhere that speaks English, because that's just one thing that you don't need to have on your mind if you go somewhere that speaks English. While most people in most countries do speak English, it is very kind of you, and very much so the bare minimum, for you to learn at least a little bit in their language. And some of the languages are definitely harder than others. I think most people know quite a few phrases in Spanish, or should, especially because now in America we're becoming more and more bilingual. Portuguese, on the other hand, I found so difficult to learn. Although there are some phrases that are similar, there's a few things that you should know. And then you can say, fala inglés or hablas inglés. First thing you're going to do is go to an English-speaking country or a country where a lot of the residents do speak English. You're going to find an accommodation that you feel incredibly comfortable with, okay? When I went to Portugal, I booked Airbnbs and it was just the wrong idea. For me, traveling by myself, you could be a totally different person. If you're a guy, I feel like it's a slightly different dynamic booking an Airbnb. But I just didn't feel all that comfortable, and I always go with my gut and I trust my instincts, so I switched to a hotel. And it's not that it's like a huge price difference. I think that hotels are just nicer. They're just like, there's more stuff here. They have nice towels that I don't like have to put in the wash. There's just certain things that hotels can offer that make you feel more comfortable during your stay that most Airbnbs don't really have, especially the cheaper ones. You could always do hostels as well. Currently, I'm not a huge fan of hostels. I did hostels on my first solo trip, which was to America, which was to Australia, and they were good, but at this time in my life, hostels are not for me. If you're younger and you don't care about like having everybody's shit everywhere and sleeping in bunk beds with 3 other people or 6 other people or 7 or however many other people that you don't know, and you just want to meet people and have a good time, then totally stay in a hostel. They're so cheap. They're normally clean-ish. It depends on where you stay. So you have hostels, Airbnbs, Vurbos, hotels. You don't have to get a wicked expensive hotel. Hotels are not that much, honestly. On a side note, if you have certain credit cards, you can book hotels at discounted prices. So that's a plus. That's not this video, but that's a plus. I have the United credit card and they have certain little hotel award deals. They're not like a super big discount, but they definitely give you like $25 off a night at least for most of them, if not like 100 or hundreds. You can also do Club One hotels, VIP travel. There's a bunch of different websites where you can get deals for hotels if rooms aren't booked, yada yada yada. Different video. So, first thing that traveling abroad is going to give you is confidence. Super boosting your confidence. You are going to feel a huge resistance. It's just going to happen. When you land in another country, especially another country that's not an English-speaking country, you're going to be like, what am I doing here? Am I going to be okay? Can I figure any of this out? Am I going to have a good time? I'm alone. Why am I here alone? What if I don't meet anybody? What if I'm just like on the beach alone? And that's normal, but I promise you're going to be fine. It's all going to be great. It takes like, I would say a day or so. Even yesterday when I got here, I was like, what am I doing here? And then I slept because I was jet lagged and I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. I also had a headache yesterday, so it's just like I was not having it. Today, I went and I got a rental car and I drove around and I got a little bit lost, but I trusted my instincts to get me back to where I needed to be. And that could probably stress a lot of people out, but you can always have a map open. Most of the cars have navigation on them. Like there's so many things that I think that we overthink about like crazy that are are gonna be there. It's fine. Like, it's not like you're going to some crazy remote part of the world. Maybe you are, and if you are, can I come? But if you go to anywhere that has like a little bit of service, you're gonna be fine. Most of the phones have like an international day pass. You don't have to worry about getting an international SIM card. If you want to get a SIM card in the country that you travel to, you can totally do that. I've never done that. I usually kind of like take it as a time off of my phone, or I pick up Wi-Fi places, or I do the day pass on AT&T, which is $10 a day. Not every day. My bill is like, woo! I think I've only gotten through one point, but confidence, number one. Number two, you don't have to rely on anybody else. This is why I've been traveling alone, because I was supposed to go to Portugal with a friend. She backed out last minute, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna cancel my trip because you backed out. I'm just gonna go and have a lovely time by myself. And I think people think that going somewhere, like you can't, oh, I would never be seen at a restaurant by myself, or I could never like go out and get drinks by myself. That just seems so weird. It's like you can. People aren't judging you. So that fear of judgment that we all have, it'll slowly start to dissipate if you work on it. But you just have to know that people aren't looking at you. They don't care. I mean, sure, they look at you for a second, but they're not gonna be like, oh, this weirdo is eating alone, or she's having a glass of wine alone. What a fucking strange person. No. Nobody is saying that. There's literally not one person saying that. If you're making a fool out of yourself, possibly somebody is saying that at some point. But it's not gonna happen. So, confidence. You don't have to wait on anybody else. You can do whatever the heck you want, whenever the heck you want. You don't have to like sit around and be like, are you ready to go? Or like, which beach do you want to go to today? And try to decide things. No, you just go. You just go and you have a good time and you do whatever you want. It will also help you realize, I tried to record this so many times now, that you don't need somebody else to be happy. You do not have to depend on another person to have these beautiful experiences, to go new places, to do life. You don't need another person to do life. Sure, it's fun sometimes to have another person. Sure, it's fun to go to the club with another person, or whatever you like to do when you travel. Experience the culture with another person, make friends with another person. Sure, that's fun. But all of those things are things that you can do alone as well. And it helps to not have somebody there because you're forced to be alone. You have to be, you could try to pick somebody up like the first day that you're here. You really get to kind of explore yourself and explore your identity. Think. If you allow yourself to think and you allow yourself to actually like sit in silence, which is so uncomfortable for a lot of people no matter where you are, whether you're abroad or whether you're at your house, people do not like to sit in silence and hear their own internal monologue. And I was in the same position like 2 months ago. I was just like not having it. It's like, I just need to be busy and be distracted, and I don't want to hear my thoughts one bit. So I went to Portugal, and then I had to hear my thoughts, and I had to explore the culture, and exploring cultures in itself is so beautiful. And I think that people don't go travel to explore cultures and really immerse themselves in cultures. I think they go travel to see places, but immersing yourself in different cultures and truly like taking the time to learn and listen and read and explore everything that culture is made up of and has been through, and all the history. It's so beautiful. And you can take your sweet ass time if you're alone reading those little plaques all over the place, which is what I do. I just like to sit there and I like to read them, and I like to read them in the language that they're in. So in Portugal, I literally stood under the in like the Freedom Square and read the plaques and stood there for probably like 20 minutes trying to translate it. Like, there were some words that I had no idea, but like, it's fun. And if I was with somebody, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Can we go? This video was kind of all over the place because I didn't have like a script to go off of, which I should start doing because I just go off on whatever tangent I want to. My point is, you should not be scared to travel solo. There are things that you can do in order to mitigate that fear. Like I said, going to an English-speaking country is the first thing that I would recommend that you do on your first trip. Just get the language barrier out of the way. Don't even think about that. And other than that, you just gotta go. You just gotta go, baby, and you just have to power through it. Power through that resistance. You can do it. There's not a difference between me and you. You're more than capable. And I can't wait to see you in whatever country you decide to go to. Let me know. Let me know where your first country is that you would go to solo. If you don't feel uncomfortable about a language barrier, let me know which country you would choose. And if you do feel uncomfortable about a language barrier, you got Australia, you got Switzerland, you got Canada. But don't be disrespectful. If you go to a country that does speak another language, don't just come at them with, hey, how are ya? Don't do that. Don't do that. It's so easy in Spanish, hola, ¿cómo estás? In Portuguese, bom dia, hola, ¿cómo está você? It's not that hard. You could do it. So that's my message to you. You should travel solo at least once. It is a beautiful experience. You should be respectful to the culture wherever you are going. And there's nothing to be afraid of. I pinky promise you will be just fine. I love you so much. Happy travels!